Shabbat Shalom here in China, Shanghai, and now it's morning time. This is Laura, and I'm from China. I'm local Chinese. Today I want to do this video first. I want to share with you my born again testimony again, because I had my born again testimony in my first video on my YouTube channel. But now I want to share with you again. I was born in a broken family when I was little. My father, he left us when I was around 5 years old, and he didn't raise me and my brother, and my mother raised us by her alone. So I had my stepfather, and my stepfather treated us good. But I had no peace inside of my heart since very little, and I was lack of safety since very young. In my childhood, I began to hate hypocrisy when I was very little. Because my mother raised us by her alone, we were very poor, and my mother, she sold vegetables for surviving, and later she survived and raised us by doing cleaning for others. So in my young age, I also began to sell vegetables sometimes when I was at holiday, and I usually received the helping money from others, even though I did not wanted to receive from others. So after I actually thank Yahweh, because Yahweh gave me intelligence to have good scores in school. So usually they will make me as their children's example for study in school. So after actually we had 6 grades in school, so I just skipped 1 grade and I joined the middle school entry examination, and I was leveled first during that exam in my area. So I entered a very good high school, middle school in my area, and later high school, the best high school in my area, in my hometown. My hometown is a very little hometown in China, and in a province of China. So after in high school, I had so much pressure also in study and in my family situation, because I was labeled poor. So I had no confidence at all, and I had no peace at all. So after high school, I went to college. I went to one of the best of the medical college in a university in China, and I studied 5 years, and I load from country one of the Bank of China, for my institute, my university cost. Actually, I went to Chinese churches and congregations since high school, and I also met Christians in universities, and I joined them. And after the university, I went to also churches in Shanghai. I went to many kinds of churches, but I had no change. I committed many kinds of sins, as much as you can think, and also sexual sins. I began to live with a man from my university, and he is 5 years older than me. At that time, I did not know what marriage is and what sexual sin is. So after I graduated, not long after that, we got married. During my marriage, I had no idea what marriage is. And in my heart at that time, I thought, anyway, it doesn't matter because I will leave you anyway. And I was possessed by Jezebel's spirit. I controlled my husband by screaming, by crying, and by any kind of crazy actions you could think of. But during that time, I had no idea what was that, and I just felt like everyone owed me like that, and I had no change. So in 2013, I was still going to a church in Shanghai, introduced by someone from my university, but I had no change. I was the same as my old self. But during that time, I began to watch videos from YouTube, and I realized the false doctrine from my previous church. And I began to fast and pray to Yahweh. At that time, I called him Yesu. And later I found my church, my previous church, they see Yahshua is different from Yahweh. But I know for sure during that time, because Yahweh revealed to me that Yahshua is Yahweh himself. And I was rejoicing in the truth I knew from Yahweh. And in my dream, Yahweh revealed a dream to me from of my church's condition during that time. In my dream, there was a white building, looked like a church on this earth. And the church was owned by a woman. We went to the church, the woman's house for doing something. But after we went to her house, she didn't arrange us doing anything. I just asked her to give us some assignments to do, but everybody was talking and chatting with each other without doing anything. And the meal was prepared for everyone. And after everyone ate the meal, it was very late during that day, and everyone just went back home without doing anything. That dream was very clear. I never had that kind of dream, and I knew it was from Yahweh, Elohim of the universe. He revealed that dream to me. So during that time, 2013, one night, I think maybe around 4 or 3 a.m., I heard a very clear voice talk to me in my ears. And he talked to me. The salvation, Paul said, is useless if you do not do according to what he said. So I will not forget that voice and that sentence he talked to me. So I know the doctrine of my church was false. But I was not born again. Later, according to my current knowledge, I knew I was not born again. And after that, not long after that, I went back to sin again until 2015. December, Yahweh pulled me out of sin again. During that time, I was hopeless on this earth, and I was like dead on this earth. So I began to fast. I just entered my current company during that time. So I applied 5 days off and I fast 7 days to seek Yahweh's face. And after that week, I went to Beijing, a little far from Shanghai, for business trip. And after I came back from Beijing, and one night I was also fasting. And at the middle of the night, around 12 o'clock at the middle of the night, the first time in my life, I felt His Holy Spirit filtrated me like fire. I never felt like that before. And I cannot forget that feeling. So later, when I was sharing my testimony with others, I usually speak like this. You can feel wind, the very big wind, strong wind come to you and push your skin, but the wind will not go through your body. And the wind is not hot, not without heat. Usually, I mean in winter. That's February 2015, when I had that experience of Holy Spirit. So Yahweh's Holy Spirit stayed in my heart. I feel that was so real. It was winter and it was very cold here in Shanghai, China. So I was filled with His Holy Spirit the first time in my life. So after that, He also baptized me with His Holy Spirit, and I began to speak tongues. I knew, because every time I speak in tongues, my soul was edified, and I was with strength, and I felt Yahweh's presence. His presence is holy. So if you really know Yahweh, you know His holy presence, Holy Spirit's filling you. Nothing of this world can compare to. And that's what we as flesh, I mean me, I lacked of that before, without being born again. So that's the most amazing thing happened to me after that. He changed me. I never sew clothes. After that, He began to teach me to sew clothes. I threw all the expensive clothes away. With shorts, I wore shorts before, and clothes exposing my body before. I threw all them away, and I began to wear skirts. After that, later, Yahweh revealed to me the truth about wearing, because I began to feel the unease inside of me about wearing pants. And also he delivered me out of sin. So do not be hypocrite. If you really know Yahweh, you will be delivered from your sin. Not continuing with your sin and at the same time serve Yahweh. Yahweh is holy. If you are really His people, you will know Him. And you will be delivered out of sin, I'm sure, because He delivered me out of abominable sins. So if you are true, do not be hypocrite. I hate hypocrisy. So this is my born again testimony I want to share with you. Shalom.